Hi there, thanks for joining us today on our video about how to catch your canoe on fire. And yeah, we're not talking about your Kevlar Winona or your vintage Old Town Tripper. We're talking about this juniper bark canoe. And we're going to try to do a little fire making and use this canoe to get our fire started. You can see I've made a juniper bark nest here and on the ends I've kind of twisted it up and kind of kept it so it's pinched in. Juniper bark it kind of comes in these long strands, and there's like these chunks that you can pull off the edge of the tree. And one thing to note about it is that it doesn't really twist up that well. It kind of breaks apart when you try to like twist it up. So unlike sagebrush, which is over here, I've got a little pile of sagebrush nesting. This stuff is Artemisia Tridentata, and this stuff is more pliable. You can kind of twist it up, and you kind of twist it all up and create this like nice little nest, and then you put your coal in there and it starts the fire. But because juniper it's not as bendable, one way to do it is to make a canoe. And so we got these guys cruising down on their little tour, but we're gonna pop them out of the boat, and we're gonna use this boat as a tool for getting a fire started today. So I made this little canoe a minute ago, and when I made it, all these like extra bits kind of came falling down to the drop cloth. So we're gonna use those. We're gonna open up the canoe hull here, and we're gonna put some of these little bits in there. And that's really good material for getting the fire started. These are called fines, and it's almost just like dust. Some of these smaller pieces, you can see it's almost like a powder. So that's really good fire making potential right there. So we're going to use all the tips we can. We're not fire making experts here, but we figured we'd try it out, show you guys a little video. So there's our canoe. Our fire making materials we're going to use down here are a juniper bow, a sage spindle, we got the sage fireboard, and there's a little piece of leather under there to hopefully catch the coal. You can see we've got a notch here that the coal will, hopefully if we produce a coal, it will drop down onto the piece of leather. There's a little chunk of obsidian for building your coal up, and a palm tool, which is just a piece of basalt rock that I have. So yeah, we're gonna give it a whirl. Haven't been doing any canoeing lately because a lot of boat ramps are closed, and so we're just gonna goof off and see if we can't have a little fire success for you. Burn down that canoe. So we may have a coal here. Gently tap it out onto the leather. Looks like we got a little coal. Now I've got this little stash of extra punk. We can build it up. Try to make it a bigger coal. It'll increase our chances of getting a fire. Looks pretty good. Grab our canoe. Let it float on down towards the edge of the fire. And now, see if we can scoop it onto this piece of obsidian here, one-handed. Maybe not. Okay, two-handed. All right, we got it. Kind of coax it onto the top of the canoe there. I'm gonna grab some more of these fines, kind of sprinkle those on here. All right, we're still alive. Kind of trying to do it one-handed, so it's a little tricky. See if we can get a little more punk on there. Oh yeah. Now I kind of want to get that coal deeper down in there now. Try to probe it down towards the bottom of the boat. The hull, if you will. Let's get some more fines from above. A little more punk. Alright, it's starting to get somewhere. Still, I want to get it deeper into the canoe. I kind of need two hands to pull that off. Maybe. All right, I think we're getting somewhere. Oh yeah. That's what we're talking about. That's a canoe on fire. Thanks for joining us, you guys.